Well, hi guys, and welcome back to the Percy War Room. We're going to play some of the Omaha Beach landing now. Um, I'm feeling a bit more like it. Just finished 3 months worth of chemotherapy yesterday, so let's crack on with some of the action. We're going to use the rules for landing amphibious craft that are contained in the rapid fire reloaded extra book, which has got really detailed rules for getting your landing craft on shore. And I've also got some early previews of Colin's updated guide for Omaha, which also gives an explanation of how to bring the landing craft ashore. So let's give it a go. Okay, so we're going to use the rules that Colin's prepared for getting these landing craft ashore. Now, if there are any DD tanks, the first wave would be to see if the DD tanks make it or not. Second wave, we put the landing craft up against the shore, and then we check for drift and for whether or not the landing craft have hit any mines. So for drift, we throw a D6 as that. 1 or 2 means they drift to the left. 3 or 4 means they stick into the way they're going, and 5 or 6 they drift to the right. So they've drifted to the left. So we shall move them up to the left. By the way, an interesting point on that is if they if they drift and they end up going off the table, then they're lost. These drift to the left, so they drift 6 inches to the left. So we'll put them that way, and this sort of all adds to the unexpected nature of doing an amphibious landing. So we'll get these guys moved over there. And then the next thing we'll do is to check whether or not they've hit a mine. So this will be also fascinating. So to check for mine damage, we throw a d6. If they get a 1, they've hit a mine. So this landing craft, we roll the dice. We've got a 1, so we've hit a mine there. We throw it again, and the number of dice is the number of figures lost from that company. And we've lost 3 figures. So I'll take 3 figures out of that chip. Now we roll for this one. It has not hit a mine, thank goodness. And the last one, it has not hit a mine. So we take 3 figures out of here, which we'll do, and then we'll move them 3 inches from the edge of where they've arrived onto the beach. So we'll just do that now. So I think, well, I'll just randomly take this base of 3 figures off, and that's what they've lost. And we'll move these guys to within 3 inches of landing craft. So we put them out like that. This is an important base. That's the guys, the Bangalore torpedoes. So they're the wave that will get rid of the, for some reason, there we go, didn't want to come off there. So we put them again within 3 inches. So I'll just get that to 3 inches of the landing craft. And again, the vital bit here is this last team with the Bangalore torpedo, which is going to take on the concrete beach defenses. Now, the plan, if these had been sea launched, these Sherman duplex drive tanks, would have been to stay at the shoreline. But what we'll do is we will put them just here, and they can form the initial part of the armoured support on the beach. And what I'll do now is I'll repeat that for the further landing craft up the shore, and then we'll come back to start to resolve what people can see and what combat needs to take place. So as we move up the beach, these guys landed successfully, no interference with them. This boat did strike a mine, so we've lost another 3 figures from there. Unfortunately, I did some random throws, and they've lost their Bangalore unit, which is a really severe blow for them, given what they're going to be facing. But otherwise, everyone survived, and they're now ready to start undertaking whether or not people can see and firing rounds. So it should get quite interesting from this point. So here we are back again. I thought you'd be interested to see, actually, before we resolve the combat, I have allowed the Germans to fire. The artillery weapon here has successfully killed another base on this landing area here. I'm going to resolve the conflict for further up as I go on in between the takes. But I thought you'd be interested in how we move up the beach. On this beach, we're going to allow infantry and tanks to move at 4 inches. And each time they move, if the tanks are not following a dozer, and they won't because the dozers are still not deployed, they'll have to throw a d6 to see if they hit a mine on the beach. So we'll move the tanks there 4 inches. Now this one's going to head this way, and this one's going to support it. And the plan for these guys is to try and breach in that direction across there, avoiding the crossfire from the emplacements. So we're going to move all 3 tanks off in that sort of direction, and they'll be able to offer covering fire from there. And we'll move the infantry there 4 inches as well. So they'll come up to sort of here. And we'll keep them spread out because obviously they're going to be facing artillery fire. Again, on a beach, only 4 inches allowed for movement. So these guys can move up within their 4 inches like that. And we'll get these guys going as well. And again, as you'd expect, they're going to stay fairly far apart because when the firing grid comes over for artillery, that's going to put them in real danger. So we'll get them moving at their 4 inches. It's going to take a while for these guys to get up the beach at this sort of rate. So that's going to be tricky. We'll move these tanks up. They're going to try and take on this gap here. So they're going to be moving in that sort of direction. I'm going to leave this one at the shoreline as the Americans had intended. We'll see if that's a more successful positioning idea, and we'll move them up. And then these guys again, they're 4 inches to get going. Do the rest later. The other thing we have to do now is resolve whether or not these tanks have hit a mine. So we'll roll the d6 to find out. Yes, is the answer. So our first tank has managed to hit a mine. So 5, it's damaged. 6, it's destroyed. It's a 4, so it's okay. This one, as he hit a mine. 2, no, he's okay. This one, a 1, he's hit a mine as well. So 5 damaged, 6 destroyed. It's a 4 again. Not great news for these guys. So what I'll do is I'll resolve them with combat. We'll move them further to the beach and see how the guys get on. So this is as far as I'm going to take the combat for this video, but we've had mixed fortunes for the Americans. They've lost the Bangalore unit from this team. Sorry, I beg your pardon. They've lost some more figures from this team, and we've lost a tank here, and we've lost some more figures from that team. But the tank at the front up here has managed to breach the barbed wire, so there's a thought that they'll be able to start to attack that draw, but they've got some pretty hefty opposing weapons to face as they come through there, as you can see up on the hill and down here. This unit of infantry have started moving that way. They lost a couple of units, and it was clear that that wasn't good. Of course, they drifted this way, so they needed to be heading that way because that infantry is not enough to be going through there. As we head up towards this area, a lot more infantry losses over here and 2 tanks lost here from the positions there and there. So we've got 1 tank left on this side. We've got the next wave to bring in, but I think on this side, it feels as though the Americans might have a chance of getting through. On that side, I think it's going to be a pretty tough ask. It's not going to be an easy job for them to get through. So there's quite a bit to play on this table, but now it's just going to be straightforward combat from the rules. So I don't think it's going to be particularly complicated or fascinating for you to see any more of this combat. But nonetheless, the actual moment of landing and getting off the beach, trying to get off the beach, has proved to be really, really tough. And the loss of basically half of the tanks that landed in the first wave is a really bad blow. Should I have taken the Americans' original approach and left the DD tanks, maybe kept us back a bit and landed them right at the shore edge, I think that might have been a better idea. We're keeping the 1 tank that survived over there, noticeably, is the one that's on the water's edge, so that's maybe a better idea. Will we have enough infantry to get up through there? There's more infantry coming in this wave, and there's a dozer coming here, so we might make more progress on that side. As far as this side goes, again, a little bit more infantry to land here, and we've got other waves to come later. So that's going to be a tough nut to crack over here, I think. And there's really difficult fire coming down from the top of the bluffs there and from this fortified house, which was the building that was captured by a Major Bingham of the US Blue and Greys. I think, was it 29th or 26th Infantry Regiment, one or the other. And that became his headquarters. And he was the first of the Americans to lead a team that took the bluffs. So, history may repeat itself, but we have had some losses there. So many thanks as always for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'll probably leave this one here now and just play it for my own amusement. But we've got some more exciting games planned. I'm feeling a lot better since the end of the chemo, so I'm hoping to get back in the war room a lot more frequently and share more games and videos with you. We've got quite a few in the pipeline, ordering some new stuff to help make those games more interesting. So I hope you'll join me the next time. But thank you so much for watching, and also thank you for all the comments that you keep putting on. I try to reply to them all. I think I have done to date. We're now over 1,000 subscribers, which is really extraordinary. Actually, I'm really surprised by that from this little place in Perthshire. And it's not a bad day. In fact, I'll let you see what the day is like. Here, we'll pop out and have a look. So here we are outside the Perthshire War Room. It's a really beautiful day here today. A bit cloudy, but very mild, very pleasant. And we've just been overflown actually by an RAF Atlas. Really surprised to see that. I only managed to get a shot of it in terms of the flight radar to see what altitude it was flying. It was flying at 375 feet, and it actually just flew right away across there, sort of three times the height of the trees there, really, really slowly. So that was fascinating and very in keeping with the Perthshire War Room. So hope you've enjoyed it, and yeah, as I say, join us next time, and hopefully we'll have another more interesting game for you. Take care, everybody. Look after yourselves.